Hello everyone, it's Irina Dumitru, and today I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite activities, which is writing. If you ever thought about starting to write, you should take into consideration how to craft a compelling antagonist to a novel. Well, creating a compelling antagonist in a novel involves several key considerations to ensure that they are well-rounded character and an effective foil to the protagonist. Here are some important aspects to take into consideration. Let's see. Number one, your antagonist should have clear motivations and goals. We all have motivations of goals. We wake up in the morning for the sake of making a lot of money, playing with our children. Everything that we do has a motivation that stands behind of what we do. Well, this should be taken into consideration when creating an antagonist. You should understand why your antagonist does what they do. Their motivations should be clear and compelling. Maybe they have a personal vendetta, or the desire of power, or a belief that they are actually doing the right thing. I think the most believable or the most well-crafted characters are the ones that actually think they're doing the right thing. Let's think about Thanos from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He has a clear misdisguised motivations to eliminate half of all life in the universe, because he wants to prevent overpopulation and ensure the survival of the remaining species. Let's go to number two. When crafting an antagonist, you should consider making them complex and dense. So complexity and depth are very important when creating a character. Whether it's a protagonist or an antagonist, avoid making your protagonist purely evil or a one-dimensional character. Giving them complex motives, as we have already seen, vulnerabilities, or even admirable qualities, can make them more realistic and interesting. So no one is purely evil. We are all grays. There's nobody white and nobody black. We are all grays. This complexity can lead to the reader feeling conflicted about them, which is a sign of well-developed character. You are either like him or hate him, or like him and hate him at the same time. Let's think about Severus Snape from the Harry Potter series of, initially J.K. Rowling presented him as a straightforward antagonist, but Snape's character is revealed to have deep complexities, including his unrequited love for Lily Potter and his role as a double agent. Well, these revelations provide depth to his motivations and actions. Let's go to number three, a direct threat to the protagonist. So the antagonist should pose a significant and direct challenge to the protagonist, pushing them to their limits. This conflict is the driving force of your story and what will keep readers engaged. The nature of this threat can be physical, psychological, emotional, or even moral. Let's go to number 4. Personal connection to the protagonist. A personal connection between the antagonist and the protagonist can add layers of tension and emotional complexity to your story. This connection can make the conflict more intense and more personal, providing a richer narrative experience. Let's see, in Blue Fog, in the second volume of my novel, the antagonist is a person close to the protagonist. It's so close that the reader is going to feel whatever sufferance the protagonist is feeling. It's so personal. This is why I recommend having a connection between the protagonist and the antagonist. Let's go to number 5, which is competence and capability. Your protagonist should be competent and capable enough to pose a genuine threat to the protagonist. They should have the means, the knowledge, or power to put the protagonist's goals or life at risk, making the conflict more suspenseful and the story more engaging. Well, we should consider number 6 as well. Reflective and contrastive qualities. An antagonist can reflect or contrast the protagonist's characteristics, like if the protagonist is weak, the antagonist could be very powerful. They should mirror each other. This mirroring can deepen the thematic content and add layers of meaning to the narrative. Let's go to number 7, which is evolution and dynamic nature. Just like any other character, your antagonist should evolve throughout the story. This evolution can be their tactics, understanding of their own motives, or even the transformation of their moral or ethical standpoints. A dynamic antagonist keeps the story unpredictable and engaging. Let's go to number 8, which is an understandable perspective. Even if the antagonist's actions are reprehensible, their perspective should be understandable and relatable on some level. This doesn't mean the reader has to agree with them, but there should be a logical basis for their actions, rooted in their character, history, beliefs, and circumstances. Let's go to number 9, which is the impact on the world and other characters. The antagonist should have a tangible impact on the world around them and on other characters. This helps establish the stakes and the seriousness of the threat they pose, making the story's world feel more lived in and real. Let's see Voldemort from the Harry Potter series. Well, Voldemort not only poses a direct threat to Harry, but also impacts the entire wizarding world, spreading fear, dividing society, and causing widespread destruction. His actions and the response to them shape the narrative and the world in which it takes place. Well, this is all I had to tell you for today. By focusing on these aspects, you can create an antagonist who is not just hurdle for the protagonist to overcome, but a critical element that enriches the narrative. deepens the story's themes and captivates your reader's interest. Thank you for watching me, and have a nice day. Bye.